What intellectual thought, Sean? The last I saw, they're dancing down the halls of Congress. It's going to take time. America has to be patient. You were in a bar, AOC.
Well, that's
Calm
the only
down
thing
and
she
not
and
to
I
have
have
a
in
drink,
common.
to serve one.
Let's hop into a few clips of Sean Hannity on Fox News. We've got 2 clips with Trump TV lawyer Alina Habba, and then 1 with cabinet member Mike Waltz. So be sure to take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. This helps our video grow, it helps our channel grow, and let's get into the misinformation with our fact checks. Very much ready.
I really don't see a path for them.
It's true.
I mean, Jasmine Crockett and AOC and the squad seem to be leading the intellectual thought of the Democratic Party.
What intellectual thought, Sean? The last I saw, they're dancing down the halls of Congress. I've never seen anything like this. I'm watching TikToks. Crazy things. They're singing, they're dancing, they're holding beers.
Well,
and
you didn't see me, but I
never saw anything
quotes.
like this.
I was doing quote the intellectual side of the party. And I love when AOC lectures Elon Musk about not being intelligent. I'm like, oh, she's such a genius. You know, I'm inspired by her every word.
You were in the bar. You were in a bar. Yeah. You were in a bar, AOC.
Well, that's
Calm
the only
down
thing
and
she
not
and
to
I
have
have
a
in
drink,
common.
to serve one.
I love how MAGA simultaneously will try to paint Democrats as like rich, snobby elites who thumb their nose at everyday people, and then they'll turn around and use AOC working as a bartender, which she did to pay her way through college, mind you, as a knock on her. Like, you see it from elected Republicans, you see it from media figures like Hannity, like Alina Habba here, and en masse from MAGA in comments, where it's like, yes, AOC, unlike Trump, didn't grow up rich. She actually had to work a job to help fund her college. How dare she serve drinks to do it? I would love a follow-up to this question as to what they even mean by this. Like, are you claiming that bartenders can't be intellectuals? Are you claiming that if you work as a bartender, like, you couldn't possibly elevate and do anything better? It's the hatred for the working class, to me, that is so insane here.
I don't understand what makes us bastards, that we're taking care of the American people, the taxpayer dollars, or that President Trump is truly creating peace in the world by forcing people to sit down and have tough conversations, by forcing other countries to be fair to America on taxes and tariffs. It's unbelievable. You know, every time I think the Trump derangement syndrome might be a little bit healed, they remind me again how sick they are. And it's sad. We are doing well. It's going to take time. America has to be patient.
It really amazes me the delusion that MAGA will indulge in pretending that TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, is a real thing and not something Trump just coined for people who would call him out when he didn't have an answer or response. But for them, it's like a literal defense or explanation. Like, oh, Democrats are calling him out for defunding Medicaid. It's TDS. Like, okay, but what about the Medicaid that doesn't really help the seniors who rely on it? Fuck your Medicaid. Like, I'm joking, but that's really how these people act about it. Like, they say we've got to focus here. We got to keep our money in America and stop wasting it overseas. And then they get in the office and they tell the elderly, they tell the poor, they tell those of color to pull themselves up by the bootstraps because our economy works for the billionaires. Like, what are we doing, right? Trump was handed the easiest win of all time. Like, he could have just walked into the sunshine with this. He had a strong economy that, because of COVID, had negative effects throughout the Democratic control of the presidency, the House and the Senate, but was clearly on the pace to rebound. By all metrics, was strong, but the economic feel was still bad. He could have literally just stayed the course, done nothing, and then claimed all of the economic success, but instead he's lit it all on fire in a matter of weeks.
If I were to imagine how this deal unfolds, it's going to be the rare earth mineral deal, a component that keeps U.S. involvement and a presence in Ukraine. Maybe European troops can be in Ukraine as well. I would imagine that Ukraine being a part of NATO is not going to happen, and I would imagine parts, maybe the Donbass region in particular, or areas that are heavily populated by people from Russia, that would go to Putin in any negotiated settlement. Am I wrong in my conjecture here?
Sean, no surprise, you're not wrong in any of that.
I love how prior to the election, the rhetoric from Trump directly even, but Republicans, was Trump is going to have this solved on day one. Russia, Ukraine, it's going to be solved on day one. But more importantly, he's going to do so without throwing Ukraine to the wolves. It's going to be a big win for us and our allies. Russia's going to really feel it and whatever it may be. But he he can't tell anyone what the deal is. We have to be hush-hush about it. Now we're seeing why he didn't want to tell anyone about the deal. And because it's the second that he won, it changed to, well, we're going to actually just give Russia everything they want, and it's all Ukraine's fault anyway, so no NATO. Ukraine's actually going to give us minerals, and good luck going forward. Then crisis averted for Trump, crisis averted in the short term, but in reality, the can is just kicked down the road for the 2028 or the 2032 president to have to deal with a possibly larger scale conflict, which, funny enough, is what Trump did with pretty much every conflict that happened under his first term, with Russia, Ukraine, with Israel, Palestine, with Afghanistan, where he just kind of like kicks the can down the road, then claims peace, and then lets the next administration deal with it. And now Russia could just feel emboldened by being handed Ukraine for invading them and decide to invade further into Europe. And what then?